You're Only Mine Episode 1. First meeting. From a very young age, Freen had faced the biggest shock of her life. In a tragic accident, she lost both of her parents. After that, her uncle raised little Freen as his own child. Freen's father's vast business was also managed by her uncle for many years. Time changes. Little Freen has now grown up, and not just grown. She has become one of the world's top businesswomen. Her company, Sarcha Group, is now spread across many countries around the world. Although her main home is in Thailand, that is where she spends most of her time. On the other hand, Becky is the only daughter of her parents. Her father owns a company, but it is no longer doing as well as it used to. After completing her studies in London, Becky returned home. However, she doesn't want to join her father's company right away. Her goal is to first work in a big company and learn how to run a large business. That's why she applies to one of the world's top companies, Sarcha Group. On the day of the interview, Becky arrives at Freen's company, feeling a bit nervous. Becky says, "No, I've only seen her in pictures." Ye smiles a little mysteriously and says, "You've seen her in pictures, but when you see her in person, you'll understand what kind of person she is." Becky jokes, "Why, isn't she human? Is she a vampiric?" Ye replies slowly, "No, something even more than that." Hearing this, Becky feels a bit scared and starts thinking to herself, what will the lady boss be like? Will she like my work? Your starting part is really beautiful. Ivy added a bit more flow and emotion to make it feel more cinematic. Even though there was tiredness on her face, her eyes held a strange excitement, a new beginning, a new place. Her father was sitting in the drawing room. As soon as he saw Becky, he smiled lightly and asked, "How was your first day? How did you like the office set? And your boss, is she good?" Hearing his questions, Becky paused for a moment. She quietly placed her bag on the sofa. The whole day started replaying in her mind new people, a new environment, and that mysterious lady boss. Slowly, Becky walked over and sat beside her father. "The office is really nice, Dad. Everyone is very helpful. Lily is just like a friend." Her father smiled. "That is good then. But why did you suddenly go quiet?" Becky hesitates for a moment, then smiles lightly and says, "I haven't seen the boss yet, but the way everyone talks about her, it feels like she's very different." "Different how?" her father asks curiously. Becky thinks for a second and replies, "I don't know. No one says anything clearly, but from what I hear, she seems very strict and very powerful." Just then, her mother comes out of the kitchen and says, "Are you scared?" Becky shakes her head with a smile. "No, Mom, not scared, but I am a little nervous." Her father speaks calmly. "Have faith in yourself, Becky. Not everyone can do what you can." Hearing this, a bit of confidence returns to Becky's face. The night slowly passes, but one question keeps in Becky's mind. What is the lady boss really like? The next day, Sarcha Group office. Becky arrives at the office early in the morning. Today, she has a strange feeling inside, as if something is about to happen. Lily looks a bit busy today. Seeing Becky, she just says, "Stay a little professional today, the boss is coming." Hearing this, Becky's heart skips a beat. "You mean I will see her today?" Becky asks softly. Lily just smiles and says, "Maybe if you're lucky." The atmosphere in the office feels different today. Everyone seems more serious, more organized in their work. Suddenly, a black car stops outside. The entire office falls silent at once. Yes says softly, "The boss has arrived." Becky's hands tremble slightly. She slowly looks toward the glass door. The door opens. First, the sound of high heels is heard, tuck, tuck, tuck. Then, she appears, a powerful presence, cold confidence in her eyes. The whole office seems to freeze. Becky holds her breath as she stares. For the first time, she sees Freen Sarcha in person. And at that very moment, Freena's eyes fall on Becky. Their eyes lock for a brief second. Everything seems to stop in time. Becky's heart skips a beat. Without saying anything, Freen walks straight into her cabin. Freena's cabin. As soon as she enters, Freen sits in her chair, but there is a strange look in her eyes. She picks up the intercom and says, "Lily, come to my cabin." Within moments, Lily walks in. "Anything wrong, Freen?" Lily asks. Freen pauses for a second, then says directly, "That girl, the new one, what has her name?" Lily smiles lightly. "Oh, her name is Becky Armstrong. She just returned after finishing her studies in London. Today is her first day." Freen frowns slightly and says, "You didn't tell me before." Lily calmly replies, "You were busy with work at the time. And honestly, the moment I saw her, I knew you'd be impressed." Then she hands over a file, her biodata. Freen opens the file and starts going through it. Degrees, achievements, experience. Seeing everything, a faint smile appears on her lips. Lily notices it and says with a soft grin, "Am I seeing this right? A smile on your face, it?" Without looking up, Freen says, "According to her qualifications, she deserves a much higher position than this." Lily nods and replies, "I know, but you weren't here. I couldn't give her a higher post without asking you." Freen closes the file and says, "Don't say anything for now. I'll handle it myself." Lily understands something is about to begin. Office floor. Lily comes out and stands beside Becky's desk. "How is the work going?" she asks with a soft smile. Becky gives a slightly nervous smile and replies, "It's going well, Miss Lily." Lily doesn't say anything, just smiles lightly and walks away. Becky doesn't understand, but she feels like something is changing. Canteen, lunchtime. 2 hours later, the canteen is filled with laughter and chatter. Yoshi, Ga, and Becky are sitting together, eating and talking. Ya teases her and says, "So how did you feel after seeing the lady boss today?" Becky blushes a little and says, I don't know why I felt a little scared, but also." Jaya laughs and says, "But you liked it too, right?" Everyone bursts into laughter. Becky doesn't say anything, she just smiles softly. On the other side, the canteen is filled with laughter and chatter. Yoshi, Ga, and Becky are sitting together, enjoying their lunch and talking. Even in the middle of the laughter, Becky goes quiet from time to time. That moment keeps replaying in her mind. Freena's eyes, that cold, deep gaze. Yai notices and asks, "What happened? Why are you so quiet?" Becky gives a light smile. "It's nothing, just like that." Thus she teases, "We know you've got a crush on the boss." Everyone laughs. "No, no, it has nothing like that," but even her own heart doesn't seem to agree with her. On the other side, in one corner of the canteen, Freen and Lily are having their lunch. Freen stays quiet, but her eyes occasionally drift toward Becky. Lily notices this and smiles softly. "You seem a little different today." Freen tries to stay normal. "Work pressure." Lily says gently, "Sure, just work pressure." Freen doesn't reply and remains silent. Lily speaks again, "The new girl, Becky, right?" Freen pauses for a moment and says, "There is something about her." Lily raises an eyebrow. "Interesting." Office floor. After lunch, everyone has returned to their work. Becky is sitting at her desk, working, but her mind keeps drifting elsewhere. Suddenly, her desk phone starts ringing. Becky gets slightly startled and answers, "Hello, Becky speaking." From the other side, a cold, steady voice, "Come to my cabin." Becky freezes. That voice, she recognizes it instantly. Freen. Her heart skips a beat. Freen's cabin. Becky slowly walks up to the door and stops. Her hands are trembling slightly. She knocks. May I come in? Main. From inside comes the reply, come in. Becky steps inside. Freen is sitting behind her desk, looking at a file. She deliberately doesn't look up for a few seconds. A heavy silence fills the entire room. Becky stands there. She can almost hear her own heartbeat. After a few moments, Freen slowly lifts her head and looks directly at Becky. Those eyes again, that same strange pull. Freen says calmly, sit. Becky slowly sits down. Freen closes the file and says, I've reviewed your work. Becky nervously replies, yes, ma'am. Freen continues, you are overqualified for this position. Becky looks at her in surprise. What do you mean, ma'am? Freen leans slightly forward and says, your capability is far beyond this. Becky goes silent. Freen speaks again, I'd want to give you an opportunity. Becky's heart skips a beat. From today, you'll be working directly with me. Outside the cabin, Becky slowly walks out. There is a mix of surprise and a strange feeling on her face. Yao runs up to her and asks what happens. What did the boss say? Becky replies slowly, she asked me to work with her directly. Everyone is shocked at once. What? Thus she says on the first day. Ye smirks and says, girl, you just became special. Becky doesn't say anything, but she feels like this story isn't ending here. Final scene, sitting in her cabin, Freen looks out the window. Lily stands near the door and says, you're doing exactly what I am thinking, right? Freen replies slowly, maybe. In her mind, Becky's face appears again. A new feeling, an unknown beginning. This is where today's story comes to a pause, but the feelings will stay. Tata bye bye, friends. We'll meet again very soon in the next episode with new moments and new emotions. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay happy, and stay healthy. And if this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.